What's good, everybody? The ambassador here, Theme Park ERT. We are back with another Enthusiast Roundtable, and this is episode 10. We've actually gotten to the double digits, so thank you, everybody that's tuned in and watched all of these roundtables throughout the past months. Can't believe that we're actually at episode number 10. I know it sounds like a small number, but it's a huge deal for us. And so on this show, we've got a bunch of really awesome enthusiasts to help us celebrate the big 1-0. Let's start off with a guy that's coming back. Let's welcome back the whiz kid of everything. It is Maverick with Mechanical Amusements. What's up, dude?
Nothing much. Trying to get out to whatever parks are open. Other than that, just kind of quarantining at home.
Dude, well, thank you for joining us from home. And also all the way from the East Coast, we've got a newbie. He's actually our first guest where a fan of his reached out to him and said, come on to our show. So let's welcome Canobie Coasters. What's up? And I wanted to say, help me, Obi-Wan Canobie Coasters. You're my only hope, but that's wrong, right?
Yeah, it said Canobie, but I like Star Wars too, so that's perfectly fine by me. Yeah, named after the amusement park in New Hampshire. It's my closest park, and glad they're going to be reopening soon.
Nice, nice, nice. Well, welcome. Thank you so much. I know it's a little bit late back there, but we appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, glad to be here.
And last but not least, are you ever feeling like you could use some company? Do you enjoy roller coasters? Do you like Instagram? Don't be lonely. Look for those thrills. It's Ernesto from Lonely Thrills. What's up, buddy?
Hey guys, what's up? Feels good to be on the show. First time being a part actually of any podcast. So this is yeah.
Well, we appreciate it that it was ours that you chose to be your first. You'll always remember your first, right? Family
always
show.
remember my first.
Anyway, and as always, welcome to John Days Complaints. What's up, man?
What up, guys? How's everyone going?
We are all good. So let's right off the bat. Breaking news. I know we try to keep these shows timely and timeless, but hey, we just got word that Disney World and Animal Kingdom have announced opening dates. What do you guys say? What do you know?
Well, I think the biggest thing I took from that announcement was that Rise of the Resistance, it's not going to have the virtual queue anymore. It's just going to be a complete free-for-all, like a normal standby queue.
Yeah.
So I guess it means they're pretty confident that ride's going to run reliably now.
Either that or they're just like, whatever, we got to save the technology for every other ride that we're going to have to introduce this for. I mean, I think that's going to be a mess. What do you guys think?
I don't think they should open it. I really don't think they should open it because everybody's going to run there first thing.
Yeah.
What else is there to really do in that park other than, I mean, there's the people that are going to go Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, and Slinky Dog, but I think most people are going to go Rise of the Resistance first thing. And
right.
I think it's going to be near impossible to keep people distanced.
Especially
when you got pre-shows. You got 3 cramped pre-shows. So, I mean, I don't think they should reopen it right now. That's just my take on it.
And especially if they're doing every other row, wouldn't that mean you only have 1 party per vehicle?
Yeah, and that's going to make the line longer.
Mm.
And that means more people being close to each other. I just don't see it being a good idea.
I know some parks. I was actually at Lagoon about a week ago, and
Nice.
one of the rides, Jetstar 2, was not open for that reason. They can't
Right.
social distance on it, so there might be a chance for even some rides at other parks to do the same thing.
I'm just
Right.
hoping Matterhorn opens. That's single file loading like that. I'm hoping that doesn't.
Yeah, very similar to Jetstar too. Shout out to Lagoon, my original OG home park. Yeah, it's so interesting, especially with Rise because of just how it is. Like you're saying with the pre-shows, it's like, could they skip a pre-show? I don't know. You know, it almost
That's the whole point of that ride, though. I think.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of the Star Wars fans like it. For me, I don't care about the pre-shows. I'll go ride the ride, be fine with it. I'm not a big Star Wars fan, so I like the ride. I just don't want to deal with the pre-shows. But I know most people really love the pre-shows because it really sets you in that.
Yeah.
You know, it really sets the tone of the ride and like makes everything look seamless and work seamlessly. So I don't think they would just gut the pre-shows due to this.
And do you think that why they got rid of the virtual queue for that is because it seems like from the pictures and people who've actually been, at least in Disneyland, and I can't really say so much for Disney World, but where like the first thing that people did in the morning was like they'd get there into the front gates and they're all just like.
That could
like,
be an issue.
packed.
Yeah, if everybody's like crowded around each other trying to get, Rise of the Resistance boarding passes, that could be worse. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
And a lot of screaming and a lot of jubilation when you get it, and then a lot of crying when when they don't get it. So there's just a lot of
I
bodily fluids.
feel like that will have a lot of guest concerns because I know some of the other parks have already started to get that with people who show up and don't know that they have to make a reservation.
Oh,
you know?
Really? Oh.
I think over Georgia has started having that problem too, where they have to turn people away. And with Disney, that might guest reactions might be more than questionable.
Well, I guess we'll see how it goes. It's definitely a trial run. It's interesting that, that's kind of one of the good things that has come out of this whole pandemic thing is the introduction of these virtual queues and reservation systems where I can see, I like virtual queue. I think that's cool. Reservations, I'm kind of on the fence with. I understand the need for it right now, but I don't know. It just thinks that we have to kind of be like live guinea pigs with it. I'm kind of nervous about it. None of our parks here in Southern California are open yet. So it's like
Belmont is.
Well, Belmont is. No, you're right. Belmont is open, which I want to plan a trip down there soon. But yeah, like a big major park, so it's like we don't really know how it's going to work yet, and I don't know, it's kind of frustrating. How about there on the East Coast, Michael? Like, what's it looking like?
So Massachusetts in general and New England have been really slow to reopen because we were hit pretty hard at the beginning because of that conference when no one knew what was going on. But yesterday, Quasi actually opened for the season on June 20th, and Lake Compounce is planning on opening July 1st for season pass holders and a few days later for normal guests. Massachusetts has been really slow in general, so there's no opening date for Six Flags New England. And one of the things that's really going to hurt all the New England parks this year is Massachusetts still has a mandatory quarantine of 14 days for anyone who returns to the state or comes here. So anyone who goes on a day trip to like Six Flags New England, which is literally 30 seconds over the border from Connecticut, you technically have to self-quarantine. So until they lift that, that's really going to hurt the New England parks from a capacity standpoint.
So you'll only be able to go if you're local then, pretty much.
Canobie's 5 minutes across the Massachusetts border, but as of now, technically Massachusetts residents aren't supposed to go there when they do reopen in the middle of July. Hopefully that gets lifted, but no one knows at this point.
Right. No, I heard about that. Like if you were to go to Florida, you'd have to, because didn't Florida say like if people from Massachusetts will have to self-quarantine?
For some odd reason, it was never Massachusetts. If you went to Florida, it was New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut.
Right. They just jumped over you. Well, that's good, I guess. Oh my gosh. With the Six Flags parks opening, you said, Ernesto, that Georgia's had a problem like that. Do you think that's going to be across the board, or do you think that they're going to like work out the kinks with those Six Flags parks that are open and then implement it then, company wide?
I believe the whole company wide thing, I know all of the chains are going to do it. Cedar Fair is already kind of getting on board with what Six Flags was initially doing, and Kings Island's supposed to open up soon, and so is Cedar Point.
Yeah.
Once those two parks open up, then we'll see Cedar Fair, how they'll react, across the whole parks. For Six Flags, I think their main issue right now is they kind of have to get the word out to the people that a reservation is required to enter so that they don't face so many guest concerns from like, oh, we didn't know there was a reservation. We drove out 4 hours to get here or something like that, because that just causes more issues.
Well, I mean, and that is true. In this day and age of social media, like we all just tend to think that we all have an account or something like that. And when that's not necessarily the case, I know there's things like in my local area where there's like, oh, we announced it on Facebook. You didn't see that? I'm like, I don't have a Facebook anymore. Like I had a Facebook in 2016. Like, well, it's like, yeah. How do they get that? Like, how do they get the news and how do they spread the news?
I'd say the most effective way is YouTube ads. Because kind of off topic, like, I don't know if you guys who have watched YouTube videos have seen all those like lit mobile ads that keep popping up. Yeah, those
things. You're talking about this one? Yo, this thing's really solid. Yo, I really like it.
All right, guys, I just got this package from Lit Mobile. Yeah, that thing. So that spreads like wildfire, and a lot of people know about it. And like the Cedar Fair and Six Flags can find a way to do that and use YouTube and other platforms where people will go to watch videos and see an ad before. I think it'll be a good way to kind of get into the rhythm of like, okay, we need a reservation to go to the park. Let's do it so we don't drive out all this just to be turned away.
Hey, Six Flags corporate, Cedar Fair corporate, if you're listening, all of us here would be happy to make ads for you. Call us.
I would. I'll volunteer the first one.
No, it actually, yeah, which is funny is even going more off topic, today I was watching YouTube. I saw an ad for the original Slap Chop ad again. Do you remember the Slap Chop ad?
Oh yeah, good old Vince.
Yeah, good old Vince from Slap Chop. I was watching it, I'm like, are you kidding me? It's back. Like I was like super stoked. It's the original ad.
He was in jail.
Well, he was in jail like a long time ago. He got out. I mean, it's old, but the thing is, this was not a remake. This was the original ad. I'm like, this is insanity. I thought they'd bring it back. That was cool. Anyway, back to theme parks and coasters. How about this? You know, when the parks do open, what's your most anticipated ride that's opening this year that you want to try to get out to first? Let's start with you, Mike.
My number one ride this year is Iron Gwazi. With everything that's going on with SeaWorld and how apparently they still owe money on rides, I'm hoping those open this year because that's one of the big reasons they got the SeaWorld pass. But of the ones that we know for sure that are opening, probably Orion or Candomonium. Orion looks a little better, but Candomonium is a quicker drive for me.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah, both of those rides look fantastic. What do you think, Ernesto?
I was actually trying to plan out a trip out to Florida too later in the year, but then this whole thing kind of hit, and it's kind of uncertain how things are going to look like in December. If there's supposed to be another rise or like a resurgence, it's a lot more aggressive in the fall.
Yeah.
So I don't know about getting out to Florida, but for me, I'd say maybe Texas Stingray or Pantheon. Those are the two like most anticipated I want to go check out. Orion too. Orion looks pretty good. I had a friend who went out there and he's like, it's so big. I've never seen something like this at this park.
Yeah. I was supposed to have been riding that ride already.
Me too. I was supposed to go out there for Hollywood Nights afterwards. And that's been rescheduled.
What about you, Maverick?
I just don't think a lot of parks are going to open many things this year because lower capacity means they're not going to make as much money this year off of those investments. So I think the SeaWorld parks are actually going to wait till next year to reopen. Don't know about Six Flags. Obviously, Cedar Fair, they're opening their big ride, which is Orion. I think personally they shouldn't. I think they should just wait until next year, as sad as it will be for all the enthusiasts. I just don't see how they'll make their returns back on them this year. And for the ones that are open, the one I want to ride the most is probably Candomonium, I would say. I think that's like one of the few that we know are going to open.
Right. I'll tell you, you know, it wasn't on my radar until just recently, but whatever that Jurassic Park roller coaster is going to be in Florida, every single day,
wild.
I'm like, oh my gosh, because I was like Team Pantheon all the way. And I still am Team Pantheon, but now I'm just like, oh my gosh, like you just start looking at all these new little elements from that Jurassic Park coaster. And it's like, you know, like even like that like, what's it called? Those interlocking, whatever's like, instead of just having a bank turn, you know, it's like, let's have a go like that real quick. You're like, that's so cool. Just like, you know, like every now and just
that became actually, I think, a bucket list coaster for me. Like as soon as I saw, like, okay, I think
I've known for a while this coaster was going to be pretty big. So like when everyone was freaking out about Pantheon, I'm just like, wait a minute, wait till Universal gets it, because Pantheon's a very, very short ride. Like it's a very small ride.
Yeah,
it's going to be maybe like a 45-second ride. It's not big.
I still think it has a better looking.
I think it's going to be good though. But
yeah.
It's not as big as people think it's going to be, and I think Jurassic Coaster, whatever it's going to be, Velocicoaster, that's the name people are throwing around. I think it would be. It looks like it's going to be really good.
Yeah,
the biggest thing with that is the layout was sort of leaked, and we sort of knew a little bit, but just seeing those transitions and how sharp they're going to be, that makes it even more exciting. Because we knew it was
like
going to be
a top-down view, you never know what to expect. I mean, the top-down view, you're like, well, that could be anything. I don't really pay too much attention to those. I just know from friends that live in Florida, they're like, yeah, this thing's going to be big and it's going to be crazy.
And it's going to be a wing coaster.
Oh, maybe.
You want a wing coaster, don't you?
I'm just messing with you guys. No, but it could be. It could be the pterodactyl, you know?
No. What they're going to be, it's going to be the world's first where you're like laying on your stomach and you're like you're on all fours. They're going to call it running dinosaur.
That's what I was picturing. You're like stomach coaster.
Isn't that like what Zamperla does with their flyers, though?
No, you're going to be on your hands and knees. You're gonna be on your hands.
That's what you do on the Zamperla floors.
No, you're on your stomach.
That's what you do on those. That's what you do on those.
But they have your arms out too. That's the difference. Instead of your arms forward, your arms are pinned out.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be called flying dinosaur. It's gonna be called running dinosaur. Running really fast dinosaur. But no, I think that the stall on Pantheon though looks like the better stall for sure, and like
I think so.
Drawn out and like
because it looks like Jurassic Coaster, Velocicoaster, whatever people are going to call it. It looks like it's going to fly through it a lot faster. Yeah. I mean, obviously we don't know the full layout, so we don't know where it's going to be. But considering how low to the ground it is, I would say it's going to have some speed going through it. Well, Pantheons will probably you get more hang time on it, I would say. Kind of like the difference between Twisted Colossus stall versus Joker's stall at Discovery Kingdom. You get a lot more hang time on that versus the one on Twisted Colossus because you kind of fly through at full speed.
Right, Mike?
Hey, I love Joker's stall.
But like I think another thing that's kind of cool is like just visually that view from across the pond or the lake or whatever it is with, with the elements of how it has the heartline roll like on the bottom and then in the back, it just kind of creates this kind of pretty. I mean, it's beautiful. Like
it looks very symmetric, which I like.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be awesome too. It's going to be fully themed.
Right.
That's going to be the key.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool.
My biggest concern was it was going to ruin the view of the lagoon when you walk in the park. So it looks like the really smaller elements are going to be in front of Hogwarts Castle. That was one of my big concerns when I saw that announced.
Yeah.
Well, because I haven't been to the Hogwarts Castle at Universal Orlando, but I've been to the one in Japan, which has the big lagoon too. And I like how that one's not touched because it just makes it really the theming just looks really good there because there's nothing like blocking the view. I don't know how it's going to look with Jurassic Coaster being it might ruin the look for it. I'm not sure.
And Maverick, you had
really isolated.
Say again?
The one in Japan's really isolated. I have to go down that like long wooded path to get to it. Whereas the one in Florida, like the lagoon's the center lagoon in the park. Whereas the Black Lake or whatever for the one in Japan where it's right in front of Hogwarts Castle. So you really can't.
The funny thing is they're both like similar layouts because they both have that big lagoon in the middle of the park. But in Japan, you have to walk down like a really long pathway, which is really cool because it really takes you into the Wizarding World. Like it really feels like you get away from the rest of the park. Like this is its own area. And I think Nintendo World's going to be or Nintendo Land, whatever they're calling it, going to be very similar because it's actually next to their Wizarding World. And hopefully that one will open this year because they've already reopened the Osaka Park.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Hopefully we see that open.
Seeing the videos of like the little Yoshi kind of dancing around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's take a moment to also just talk about each one of your channels. Maverick, let's start with you. I know you're a returning guest, but why don't you talk about what you do?
So I do like a few different things. I kind of have like two styles of videos I do on YouTube. There's the joke videos where my friends and I were just crazy. We're just absolutely insane. And we do things kind of just uncensored. And then there's other things where I've worked in the industry and I've noticed a lot of enthusiasts don't really know the inside stuff. So I kind of bring that to light a little bit. I haven't really worked on that too much. I'm trying to get more into that. I'm just trying to see how to do it and differentiate myself from like El Toro Ryan and not, I don't want to do repeat content. I don't want to repeat content.
And that's Mechanical Amusements. Where else can they find you?
Oh, they can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Facebook is usually used to promote when the YouTube videos come out, since Instagram you can't really like post the link. You just kind of have to put in your description. So Instagram is usually where I post like the photos I take from my trips and stuff. YouTube is where all the videos go out to.
Cool. Check it out at Mechanical Amusements. And Ernesto, Lonely Thrills.
I actually only am right now on Instagram.
Right.
I've done YouTube in a very long time since I was in high school. And I don't know if I'll be back, but a lot of people have been saying I should go get a YouTube. So that might happen in the future.
Let us know in the comments. Should he start a YouTube? Let us know. So where can they find you? Just Lonely Thrills?
Lonely_thrills. And the content is varied. The profile looks normal, pretty pictures, but when you tap those stories, you might find some interesting things. So
yeah, like the COVID hangout spot.
Good time.
Hangout spot, or we could go into that. But I mainly just kind of like to promote the whole concept that enthusiasts tend to sometimes forget when they go to parks, which is to have fun and enjoy it for what it is.
Cool.
And,
What's your home park?
I've got Knott's. I work at Knott's. That's the closest park to me.
There you go.
And yeah, I got Disneyland, but I'm too broke to go there. So.
Yes, I'm in that same club. Cool. Well, we'll come back to you about talking about working at Knott's. And then finally, we've got Canobie Coasters. Where can they find you? I know it's on YouTube. What else?
So just YouTube. Don't have Facebook. Don't have Instagram. Just have YouTube, just to share about the parks I visit and just talk about some of my favorite rides that I've seen over the years.
Right. And I actually got turned on to your channel with your most popular video right now, I believe, like almost 50,000 views. The most anticipated, what was it called? The most anticipated coasters that like don't have like aren't open yet or whatever, like don't have an opening date or whatever that one is.
Yeah, the one that began with 2020 looks like the best year for coasters, which that line probably didn't age well.
But it's a good video if you haven't checked it out. It's really cool because everybody forgets about that coaster in South in the is it the UAE?
Yeah, the one that's supposed to be that was opening soon for the past 5 years. I saw it in Dubai when I was there. People have seen it, just like the window's been open sometimes, so you can see some of the track inside. It looks like it'll have a lot of cool elements, but no one knows what's going on with that ride.
Kind of like another ride, FLY. But, hopefully they'll open. I love how everybody gave West Coast Racers a hard time, but it's like, wait a minute, look at these other ones. How long did it take flying turns?
What, 6 months? Maybe less? It wasn't that bad.
It's like flying turns. But, no, that's great. So everybody check out Canobie Coasters as well. And you can call Obi-Wan Canobie Coasters, Canobie Coasters. It doesn't matter.
Can't be like the park.
just make sure that you spell it right because I didn't. And then Ernesto, so working at Knott's Berry Farm, I know that they recently replaced the K on the big observation tower. What did they replace? Was they just put new lights, or what was going on with that?
So the old K, when it first was installed, was made up of, from what I saw, were a bunch of like neon strips that lit it up at night.
Uh-huh.
I guess they just must have gone out, and since it's that high up, the park never really had the time or took the effort to fix it. So with the new K, it's got a bunch of LED lights on it that I assume are also going to be able to change colors and do a bunch of different patterns, and it's going to look really nice. It hasn't lit it up yet. I've been checking it out as much as I can. They're still, as far as I know, doing all the wiring and all that in there, so hopefully that'll be on in the next upcoming weeks, or hopefully before the park opens.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Follow Lonely Thrills on Instagram to find out when that K lights up. What do you do at Knott's Berry Farm?
I sell merchandise at Peanuts headquarters outside the park in Marketplace. Anybody who wants to go, just walk in there and you'll probably see me in my Snoopy vest.
Nice, because the Marketplace is open now, along with Mrs. Knott's Chicken Dinner Restaurant. How's it been so far with that opening? Have you gotten good response with people coming and checking out the Marketplace? Well,
today happens to be Father's Day. We have had a lot of people that have come over to Marketplace. Chicken Dinner Restaurant today was out the door. And so was Chicken to Go, which is where you want to just pick up your chicken and go home.
Yeah.
All out the door. There were so many regulars and other people that just came in, and it's been really nice. A lot of the older folks who have been coming to the park for their entire lives before the coasters were even there have been telling me that right now that Ghost Rider has been quiet, the screaming has been quiet. They appreciate, because it reminds them of how when they used to come in, it was a lot more just kind of like a local spot.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Park. It's quiet. It definitely is. It feels, I've taken my laps in the park and it feels quiet, somewhat creepy at times. And it's like,
That's a great point, because, with talking to some other enthusiasts and some people in PR that we know, they're just saying that they miss the sound of the park being alive. Like they miss the people talking, and then the coasters going and the screams. And, all of us as enthusiasts understand and know what that is. But that's a really interesting perspective to hear it from someone who lived way back in the day, who, would come to the restaurant. There wasn't all that much screaming. And like, it's kind of nice. And I know that, John, you talked about that with the traffic, at least. You're like, this is like old LA. This is like, reminds me.
When there was. I haven't seen anything like it in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when I first got my license, is how it's been. But recently, within the past week, it's almost back to regular LA.
Yeah, back to regular.
Once again.
And the only place that I know of, and a person
or new LA, I should say, back to regular new LA.
Right. The only place that I've ever been that has worse traffic than the new LA is Massachusetts. So how have things been in Massachusetts? Has it been quiet? Has it been nice? Has there been, deer coming out of the woodworks and just, interacting with rabbits and everybody's happy?
So I actually have been working from home mostly. I do engineering, so every once in a while I've had to go in the office just to set up some experiments, but then I've just been like writing reports and doing most of the stuff at home.
Uh-huh.
But in terms of the volume of cars on the road, it's been a lot less people out there. This is the fewest cars I've seen on the road ever since living here. Yeah, it's quite the change. So it'll be interesting what happens when Massachusetts fully reopens, because again, we've been one of the slower states because we were hit so hard at the beginning. But a lot of companies around here are finding that the employees are just as productive working from home. They're happier. So that might be good signs for slowing down traffic, especially.
Well, I was going to ask you, is like barbershops and stuff like that open yet over there?
So tomorrow is going to be the first day that they're allowing like inside dining again. Our governor's been very smart to postpone openings until after major holidays. So after Father's Day in this case. And then phase 3, which is like casinos and a bunch of the other indoor venues, the day, right after 4th of July. So
yeah, we'll have to check in after that day. A week after that day, we'll see. Because that's how I was hoping for LA, that people would realize they can work from home, like that not so many people need to go into the office every day of the week, maybe 2 days of the week, but no, it's like it's back to the same old already.
Yeah.
And we haven't even fully opened yet. We have barbershops, dine-in, restaurants, and stuff like that just opened this week. But yeah, it's already, as soon as that happened, everything is back. It's a little less, but it's still bad.
I should have waited. I got a little impatient. So Maverick and I kind of have a little thing in common. We were both out in Wisconsin at the beginning of the month. We went to Wisconsin Dells to go to Mount Olympus. I'd missed the big group, Maverick and a whole bunch of other enthusiasts.
You missed all the enthusiasts.
I missed them by 10.
Every enthusiast was there.
10 hours. I missed them by 10 hours. Oh, well, I was there by myself. But while I was there, I actually got my haircut because, they weren't available there. Now, the haircut looks cool, but I have not revealed my haircut completely yet. And here it is, the haircut reveal, the ambassador's crazy haircut. I call it the Corona cut. We ready?
Haircut stream.
Haircut stream.
He's got. Oh my God! I've never seen the back. We have to get rid of the back, man.
No, I said give me a Midwest haircut.
This guy got the Joe Dirt.
I know, dude. I did it as a joke. I did it as a joke to my wife. I was like, I'm gonna go back and get a haircut, and I came back and I had this like.
Well, you could still be like me. Look at this.
You can still be like me. I've got all this.
Nah, that looks good. You guys just get a rat tail like me. Look at this awesome rat tail.
I'm so down for that, but I know that as soon as I walk into work, it'll be like, get out.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I'm gonna get it fixed in just a minute. I just think it's funny. My Corona cat exclusive. Speaking of exclusives, Maverick, I know that over on your channel you talked about Mount Olympus. Has everybody in the chat have you all been to Mount Olympus? Mount Olympus.
Yeah, I went last year.
Oh, you went last year.
A long time ago, and from what I remember, it was a very brief stop. I don't know why we were there. And all I remember riding was the old Hades.
Oh, the old Hades. Oh, cool.
So I have that credit.
Nice.
And I don't even remember what it's like because I was like 8.
Super young, yeah.
I don't really remember it, so I just kind of set aside. But I'd love to go ride the new one. I hear it's really good.
Hades 360 is so good.
I want to ride it. And a lot of people have been asking, do you want to go to Mount Olympus? It's just like, now I can't because I have a job again, sadly.
What do you think, Mike, about Mount Olympus?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me is I always heard that the coasters there would beat you up and I wouldn't want to spend much time there. And the operations were inefficient. And I show up there and yes, the track is literally, you could put your hand on it if you were an idiot. But the coasters, they weren't rough at all. Like Zeus, really, really smooth.
Zeus is awesome.
Ace 360, Timberliners absorb the shock quite well, and then Cyclops, it's about the same as the Raven.
Yeah.
And I really liked all those Woodies. The only bad thing for me is I went on a really busy day.
Oh.
So, like, these had, like, a 45-minute wait all day. So I was only able to get a few rides on it, but I loved every ride I had there.
I think everybody just bashes the operation just because all the rides are only designed to run one train.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
because
kind of
honestly,
like
they did really well even with cleaning the seats every cycle. When you probably saw the same experience, they were pretty quick. Like considering, like I think Zeus only has one ride operator, same with Cyclops, and they were getting people on in like 5 minutes, which is pretty good for cleaning every seat and then getting people on.
What were you gonna say?
That's how it's kind of how Silverwood was. I took a trip out there.
Oh, nice. That's right. They're open too.
I went there opening weekend, and they were just getting back in the rhythm of things, kind of getting used to the whole sanitizing thing. And they're a park that's also only runs one train on all of their coasters.
Yeah.
And from what I saw, their operations were pretty good, despite having to sanitize everything. So, it's kind of like what Maverick said about Mount Olympus.
So since you went to Silverwood this year, I had a question for you. I've heard a rumor that Timber Terror got rid of the buzz bars. Is that true?
Yes, that is unfortunately true. They have PTCs, but they're these really nice new ones. And from what I see, I don't think there would have been really much of a difference. They don't staple you. So you could easily get those two fistfuls of room if you wanted to.
Great.
And if anybody's ever at Silverwood, look for one of my friends up there. His name is Ryan. And he's a cool guy to hang out with. I think he's like one of the only few coaster enthusiasts that work at the park, that he told me.
So go up there and just ask everybody, where's the Ryan that is the only enthusiast?
My question is, does he give insurance? Okay.
And here's one other thing. During Scarywood, they run that thing backwards.
Crazy.
The Timber Terror or Tremors that runs backwards?
Timber Terror. So
Okay.
I will be back there in October to ride that again.
I need to get up there. I've never been to that park. I've got friends in Coeur d'Alene. I don't know why I haven't gone there yet.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The park is gorgeous. You have all these pine trees in the mountains that surround it. It's in the Pacific Northwest, so the summers are brutal, and the park, it's gorgeous. And I can't find really anything bad to say about it. Every park has a little imperfections that you can point out. One, I can't really find much. The food prices when you go into this park, they're affordable. You can get chicken tenders and a drink for like $9.
Was it good food though?
What other park are you going to see that? Oh, you said another park they do that too?
No, I said, was it good food?
It was good food too. It was good food.
Oh, I realize I'm not close to my mic. That's probably why you can't hear me.
Yeah. No, their food
I was like
good.
sitting back on that one. I was like,
the ice cream I had was also really good, and that was like $2.50.
oh, that's not bad at all.
No, the prices here are affordable, and I don't have a jacket, but I bought like this jacket at Silverwood that a typical Cedar Fair park would cost you like $60. Here was $30.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
That's awesome.
Not bad at all.
It's amazing. The merch is affordable. The food's affordable. The rides are amazing.
Probably because they don't have much competition near them. That's probably the reason
it might
so cheap.
And it's probably also because they realize that they have to attract the locals, because it's not really – it's located in the middle of practically nowhere. So the only people that go there are just the locals, and they want to keep coming.
The only competition – go ahead.
The most shocking thing for me is I was out there for work in Seattle, and Wild Waves had no advertising whatsoever, but the hotel I was at in Seattle advertised Silverwood. I was planning on going there anyway, but that just says a lot that a park 5 hours away from Seattle is advertising more than the park in that area.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's interesting.
I would say the only competition they have is going to be the RMC factory prototype that you might be able to look at. It's like that's probably the only thing that's there. But again, I want to make it up there. I would love to go up there. I love that part of the country, just super beautiful. But I just I'm excited to we speak of of those wooden coasters. Just like with Hades 360 at Wisconsin Dells it was just magic. Like it was just so crazy. And then like Zeus, I was surprised with. Pegasus, I didn't like. I didn't like Pegasus.
Yeah, Pegasus is all right. I think it's a good family coaster.
What side did you sit on the train? Did you sit on the right side or the left side when you're in the train?
I sat on the right because Logan told me that your skinny body is going to get destroyed.
Correct.
Because like I don't weigh that much. I weigh like 135 and he weighs like 180. So he's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you if you sit on the left.
Sitting on the left-hand side, maybe you can back me up, Mike. Every single one of those like non-banked turns, basically just right angle turns, have on that ride, your ribs just go right into that PTC train, like crack. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
like,
and it's definitely the roughest Woody too, I would say.
I'm not a complainer. Like, I don't complain about rough rides. I will ride anything and just be like, I've fallen down the stairs harder than that. However, Pegasus is the very first coaster where I said, oh my gosh, I just really got hurt on this ride.
Where'd you ride on it? Did you ride in the front? Because
The back.
Okay.
And then on the left side.
I rode it once in the front, and I didn't care. I just wanted it for the credit.
Well, my little kid, he's 43 inches tall, and he could ride it. And so he was stoked because this was like his first kind of big Woody.
Yeah.
He loved it. So we had to ride it like 2 times.
Oh, boy.
But he came off with a big smile.
But it's an interesting ride because it feels like a wild mouse, like a full trained wooden coaster as a wild mouse. It
feels like they
ride.
Forgot about the turns. They're like, oh shoot, we have to put a turn in here.
It just feels like they forgot how to bank a coaster.
Right.
What is banking, right?
Like.
No banking.
It's literally a wild mouse. Like
Ugh.
That's what it is, pretty much.
At least those turns on the main course of the ride, you can at least see those coming, but that turn in the brake run is just...
I didn't think that one was that bad. It wasn't as... but we didn't get a full train either. So, I don't know. May have not hit it that hard.
Yeah.
I
didn't care.
That experience kind of reminds me of my first ride on Legend at Holiday World. I was sitting on the left side. My friend Izzy from Coaster Velocity was on the right. I was getting destroyed on that turns. That thing was just digging into my ribs. So you described the pain. It's like I
know it.
What you're talking about.
I've never banged my head on any ride. I've never banged my head on Viper or on I even rode Shockwave at King's Dominion. I've never had experienced pain except for Pegasus. And so I'm like,
you never rode Flashback.
Yeah, I did at Magic Mountain.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's a headbanger for sure.
That's John's
Guaranteed a headbanger
coaster ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Talking about that last night.
I think I'm like in the sweet spot of like height. It's like over shows that nothing happens to me. Like
I'm the same way, yeah.
Like the bat at Lagoon, right? Like the bat at Lagoon. People call it a hang and bang. I just called it a super boring waste of millions of dollars. That's what I called it.
I've been on a bunch of those models. They're not bad.
Yeah, the bat was boring. What did you think about that, Ernesto?
I didn't find that thing to be like how people saying a headbanger. And I'm tall, but I'm also round and fluffy. So restraint kind of just like hangs like still to here to my ear.
Yeah.
Get any headbanging on it. And I guess I kind of saw like this is just a family coaster. And I got off of it and I was like, it was okay.
It's a credit.
It was cool. Let's go.
Yeah, my least favorite coaster. I was so disappointed. I think because I waited so long to ride it, and then when you go off the first lift hill, you're like, what? Then it's over. Like, what? Like, I'm just so angry.
See, we rode it the first thing because I told my group, I was like, I don't want to wait an hour to ride a kiddie coaster. So why don't we go to that first?
Yeah.
Walk it out. And I'm glad we did because as we went in to go in for, to board the only train that was on there was already a line that was going outside the queue at opening. It's like,
I don't understand it.
If you're going to get that credit, go to that first. As soon as the park opens, go to it. Just get it done.
Well, let's go around the table. Everyone's least favorite roller coaster that they've been on. Maverick.
Mean Streak Cedar Point.
Lonely Thrills.
Green Lantern at Magic Mountain. Maverick's hating me right now for that, but I'm sticking to it.
I love Green Lantern. I'm the only one in the world that will marathon that ride. I used to do single rider, and they would just ask, do you want to go again? Because we don't want to ride it, and we have to fill up that seat. Because the employees used to have to ride it if no single riders were present, so I'll just keep riding it all day.
You were the designated single rider?
Yes.
He was a designated counterweight.
Exactly.
I'm just hoping they fix that Laurent because the one in Gronaland's so good. And
Yeah.
if they can fix that run, it's actually going to be a fun ride.
I don't want them to fix it. I like how janky it is.
The
That's why I love it.
I had a really bad experience the times that I've done it, and it usually involves me feeling like my head's going to explode to a point where I just think this is no longer fun. This is just painful.
I never rode it.
I've ridden the SNS free spins, and those are so much better in my opinion.
I mean, I think they're fun. I never rode it. There's only 2 credits at Magic Mountain that I don't have: Green Lantern, and that I'll never get, and Magic Flyer.
I still don't have that either.
My son has ridden it probably 1,000 times. But let's go to Mike. Mike, what's your least favorite coaster?
Coaster Express at Park Warner. That ride is awful. It should be turned into an RMC. I thought it was just going to be like a Cyclone clone when I got there, and then I saw it looked like Son of Beast minus the loop with all those giant helixes, and it was 100-degree heat that day. That ride was bad.
Oh man! All right, now conversely, let's start with you again, Mike. What's the best coaster you've been on?
Lightning Rod, without a doubt. Especially if you can ride that night during Smoky Mountain Christmas, because you launch over the hill, absolutely no lights. And then you come over the mountainside and the quad down, and you just see all the lights in the park as you're just getting ejected every single hill.
Awesome. Ernesto.
Maverick at Cedar Point.
Nice.
Oh yeah, it's got.
I did not expect that.
No, it's got everything I want in it. Intensity, airtime. It's got whip on the rolls, and it's fun. And a launch too. I love it.
And speaking of the namesake, Maverick.
For me, it has to be Hades 360. I fell.
Oh wow!
It was Phoenix
Look at
before that at Canobie's, but I think Hades 360 actually topped that one for me.
Cool. Well, great. Not to leave out John. We've already known it from past episodes. We'll throw him out again.
What are we talking? Favorite coaster or ride?
Favorite
Coaster?
You can do ride.
Coaster,
you can do ride.
I don't know. Favorite coaster would have to be probably X2 still. Rise of Resistance, or like Splash Mountain. Really like.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
It's a quality ride. It has it has the secret airtime hill that goes into the B layer.
I'm more about the ride and the theming and stuff.
Yeah.
I love coasters, but
Yeah, I'm
when it's
kind
all
of the same way.
together-
I like theming more than coasters.
We got to get you on Hagrid's.
it's true. I
It's
went,
a
but it was
perfect
closed.
combination.
I went for media day for what was it? Horror nights. Is that what their event? Universe? Oh.
No, I mean Hagrid's.
You're talking about in
Right, yeah,
Florida.
Hagrid's Motorbike
I thought you were
Adventure
talking
with
about
magical creatures in the land of Gryffindor, or whatever the name of that ride is.
Yeah.
Theming plus
I don't
coaster.
know. I don't know about that ride so much.
My brother and sister-in-law rode that, and they were like, "This is like, it's the perfect combination," because as a roller coaster by itself, I mean, it would be considered okay. It's a family coaster. It's fun. It's got some launches and some drop track and whatever. But because it has the nice theming in it, they said it just elevates it. Let's do show and tell. Go grab one of your most memorable or favorite keepsakes or souvenirs from a theme park. Come on back.
All right.
Well, while Ernesto searches through his drawer of wonders, we can start with Mike. Mike, what do you have on your head? What in the world?
So Tokyo Disneyland is famous for having just the craziest souvenirs. Basically, any character, no matter how obscure they are, they have a gift shop theme to them. Slinky Dog has his own gift shop over there. And being a fan of the character and just Wiener Dogs in general, I was like, I have to get a hat for him. And they sell a Slinky Dog hat, complete with like his little body attached to it.
That's awesome.
And this hat's awesome because when you go to the parks, like the backside blocks your neck from the sun. And anytime I go to the parks, just like at Disney, they're like, where'd you get that hat? Was it Tokyo? Yep. Makes sense. And like this hat's paid for itself. I got a free flight change with it. So
you just walk up to the gate agent. Hey, what's up?
So I got to the
class,
airport.
Please.
I got to the airport like 2 hours early, and there was a flight that was leaving for Anaheim. And I was just like, I'll see if they have an open seat. And this hat, because it has like this puffy part at the top, it didn't fit in my bag.
Mhm.
And so I wore it on my head as ridiculous as I looked just because I wanted to bring it with me to Disneyland. And the flight attendant was like, flight changed our, let me see what I can do for you. Because I think they thought they must have thought something weird when I wore this hat, which to their defense, I understand.
Hey, you should try it different places. You may get a free meal or something like that. That'd be great. Just like walk into like a Round Table Pizza and be like, hey. It's like, don't even.
Oh, I hate that place from going to California for an internship over the summer.
I had an interesting experience though with Tokyo Disney merchandise because there's no like ride merchandise. That's the funny thing. It's either characters or some sort of candy that I noticed.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think the only park in Japan, because I don't think ride merchandise is like big there. I think like the only park that had it was Fuji-Q.
Yeah, I have a model for Donpa from there.
Oh yeah. I got a T-shirt from there. I got a Dudadonpa T-shirt.
I know that I'll probably get his name wrong. One of the guys from the Coaster Idiots, he has a soap dispenser that he got from Tokyo Disney Sea that is to make the soap into a Mickey shape when you do this soap dispenser.
I can't remember who that is. That has.
Isn't that
I've
Country
seen
Bear?
Oh, that's Brer Bear.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That might be a keepsake if people get their way online with that petition.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah.
Right.
I hope not. Don't touch my Splash Mountain. If you've seen any of my videos, you know I am the biggest fan of that ride.
Oh yeah, I'd take that over pretty much every roller coaster in the world.
Yeah.
I swear, I can't believe I wasn't drunk when I made that video, but like I have a video of me doing a Zen ride, firework ride at the end of the night, and I sound drunk in it, and I'm not.
I've had a Zen ride on Splash Mountain as well. It was actually kind of a funny story. Like it was in the winter, but they were running it, and I was trying to get my son on it. He was tall enough to ride it, but he was scared of it for some reason. Like he's not scared of any roller coaster, as you know, and John knows. Like he's gung ho.
You just didn't want to get wet or something.
But for some reason, I don't know. I think it's just because it was dark or something like that. And so he didn't want to do it, and I was going to force him on it. And my wife's like, "No, don't force him."
Like any good parent does, you force your kid on the ride. That's number one.
You got to do it. And how many enthusiasts became enthusiasts because their parents forced them on a ride? Like tons. So my wife didn't want to do it. So basically, I just sat on. It's like fine. like that famous picture of that lady. Like that was me. But what did you get, Maverick, for your souvenir? Show us.
I don't have everything with me, like within reach, but I do have the lockout tag I used to use. I think, which one is this? This is Dragster's lockout tag.
Nice.
What is it? 4089. That's Dragster's department number. And then I also have my Rougarou pin because I had a really great crew last year. We still talk to each other all the time. We're still all really good friends.
That's cool. Cool, man.
I wanted to grab my first year pen from Millennium, but I don't have it here. I guess it's in storage somewhere.
It's all good. And for those who may not be in the know, yes, Maverick did work at Cedar Point. And he still does work at Cedar Point.
No.
Not anymore? You're not going to work there anymore? Oh, he's done. He's done.
Yeah, I'm done. They want me to go back, and I'm like, mm-mm.
Nah, he's
moving on.
I
Get messages like management keeps asking me to go back, and then all my friends there are like, "Are you coming back this season? Are you coming back? I need you back." I'm like, sorry. Not living in those dorms again.
Those nice rusty clean dorms. You know what I'm talking about?
No,
I'm not living at Ram Ranch again.
You want to come to the ranch?
Family show. Anyway, he's moving on up. He's got better and better things to do. He's going to be working at Round Table Pizza. So let's see, Ernesto, what do you have?
Well, I've got a couple. I've got two things. If the first one fails, but the first one is my gave this to me. It's a park map, defunct park actually. I don't know if you guys recognize.
Nice.
Geauga Lake. What year is this from? I think 2007. And then I also found this. This one my parents gave to me, like this old Disneyland parking ticket when it was like $7.
Oh yeah.
So like this is old. This old map. Also found by my parents too. So they have a lot of Disney stuff.
Nice. And John, you were showing off the child, and then who else did you have?
Oh man, don't worry about that. I'll show this off though. So we upgraded.
Oh, that's right. This is a new
Creative.
camera for Theme Park ERT.
There'll be some new pictures coming out soon on the Instagram. So
I helped out with that.
yeah.
Oh, thanks, man.
Or thanks to Ernesto for the advice and mentoring on
For those who don't
what
know,
cameras to get, what lenses, and you know,
it's a Sony A6400.
6400. Yeah.
Yeah.
With a 16 by 55 on there for now. Once I get that set up, I'll be using that for these Zoom meetings and web chats and whatnot moving forward. So everything, quality of the channel should be getting a little better, guys.
Yep. Slowly but surely we are getting there. And with the little bit amount of time that we have left, I just wanted to, again, thank everybody for coming onto the show. It's always fun, especially sometimes it seems like we're rudderless in these chats. But what's fun about it is that we're all together and we're all just kind of like geeking out about things. You know, I like
hanging out.
Yeah, it's like, I know that sometimes it starts getting a little bit depressing because we start talking about things not being open or like, you know, being on lockdown. But what I like about the enthusiast community is that we really do. We really rally together, and like we're all rooting for the parks, and we're all rooting for one another, and just to have that interaction again, because that's my favorite part about being an enthusiast is the community and being at the parks with you guys. And that's why John and I wanted to create this show to really highlight you guys, not make it so much about us, but be like, here are the content creators that we enjoy watching. And I'm glad that I found Canobie coaster, but you know, it's fun to find these new channels and then all of a sudden have them reach out and be like, yeah, I'll be on your show. I geek out about that because I'm a fan. And so thank you so much for all you guys that are coming on. And it's, you know, and Lonely Thrills, you know, here's a little secret. The ambassador now has an Instagram, but there's not going to be any posts on it. So if you want to reach out to me, you can. I'm the_ambassador_ERT. I don't understand Instagram, but I might be able to figure it out if you send me a message. But you can give me a follow if you want to.
I would say it's the simplest one. You'll figure it out pretty quickly.
I'm honestly still trying to, but you know, I'm here for fun. You know.
And it is fun. I love watching your stuff. And what I like most about yours is that it's the symmetry of all of it. You really have to go onto the web to see the symmetry of Lonely Thrills.
Do you know why it's like that?
Yes.
But if you scroll down way like 2 years ago, you'll find the reason why everything on Lonely Thrills is symmetrical.
Oh, nice. Green Lantern.
No, that's yeah. Supreme Scream as an Eiffel Tower and as a photo project. And I wanted to keep like that, so I just kept 333. Go from there.
And we've got a nice froze pose on Maverick.
Yeah, I got to spotlight his video just for the
froze
pose. Real
pose.
quick.
What's up, froze?
There we go.
There it comes.
I was just
back.
trying to see if anybody noticed.
Well, almost as good as Scott Bravenboers from last episode. His froze pose was epic. So I think that should be a new thing with Theme Park ERT, the froze pose. Send us your favorite froze pose. All right. So again, I wanted to just thank everybody for coming. Like I said before, we're so very grateful that you come onto our show just to nerd out, talk coast to Scott theme parks. Grateful for wherever you are. We got, you know, Mike all the way from the East Coast. Everybody else is from here, from California. But this is an international show. We're very, very grateful for everybody coming and checking us out. And who would you like to see on our next roundtable or one-on-one interview? Let us know in the comments, and better yet, let them know in their comments like they did with Canobie Coaster, and hopefully they'll reach out to us and we'll get them booked on the show. Again, my name is The Ambassador. On behalf of Days Can Blaze, Mechanical Amusements, Lonely Thrills, Canobie Coaster, this has been your Theme Park ERT